You declined the invitation again. You typed out an excuse, hit send, and immediately felt a wave of absolute relief. Not because you hate your friends. Not because you are scared of the outside world. But because the mere thought of performing socially for another 3 hours felt like running a marathon with a broken leg. Society loves to label people who stay home as lazy, antisocial, or depressed. We are conditioned to believe that a Friday night spent alone is a failure. But psychology and neuroscience reveal a completely different truth. You do not prefer solitude because you are broken. You prefer it because your brain is wired to find peace where others find panic. Right now, extroverted culture dictates the rules of success. We are told that constant connection is the only path to a fulfilled life. But in the next few minutes, we are going to dismantle that illusion. We will break down the exact neurological difference in how your brain processes stimulation. You will understand the brutal mathematics of your social energy expenditure. And you will see why the journey from social guilt to total self-acceptance is the most powerful psychological shift you can make. Write this down. Choosing solitude is not a rejection of humanity. It is a profound alignment with your true self. Let's look at the biology. To understand your behavior, we have to look inside your nervous system. Introverted individuals process environmental stimulation fundamentally differently than the rest of the population. This is not a personality quirk. It is a distinct neurological pattern. A famous 2024 psychological review on introverted brains confirmed that individuals who prefer solitude exhibit significantly higher baseline neural activity in areas associated with internal thought and problem solving. What does this mean for you? It means your brain is already highly active when you are sitting completely still in a silent room. You do not need external noise, loud music, or crowded rooms to feel alive. In fact, when you are forced into highly stimulating social environments, your brain quickly reaches a state of sensory overload. You are not bored. You are overwhelmed. Extroverts use social interaction to charge their empty batteries. But you are already fully charged. Adding 20 people talking at the same time to your system does not energize you. It shorts out your circuits. Your preference for solitude is simply your biology seeking an environment where it can safely operate without burning out. This brings us to the great contradiction that confuses everyone around you. You genuinely love your friends. You care about your family. You enjoy deep, meaningful conversations. Yet, you actively avoid frequent contact with them. People take this personally. They think your distance is a reflection of your feelings for them. But they fail to calculate the social performance tax. For you, socializing is an active expenditure of energy. It requires hypervigilance. You are constantly reading the room, analyzing micro-expressions, maintaining eye contact, and filtering your thoughts. This cognitive load is exhausting. When you retreat to your home, it is not a rejection of your social life. It is a mandatory recovery period. You are going into the psychological equivalent of an intensive care unit. You need solitude to heal from the friction of existence. In solitude, the mask comes off. The performance ends. You no longer have to adjust your facial expressions to make others comfortable. You can finally just exist. Solitude is the only place where you do not have to perform. Culturally, we have a very toxic view of staying home. Society frames staying in as a fallback option. The narrative is that you only stay home if your plans were canceled, or if nobody invited you out. The world assumes that if you are alone, you must be lonely. But for you, staying home is not the backup plan. It is the primary objective. It represents total control over your environment. When you are alone, you control the temperature, the lighting, the volume, and the input. You dictate the pace of reality. Extroverts cannot comprehend this. To them, a quiet room is a prison. To you, it is a sanctuary. They pity you for spending the weekend alone, completely unaware that you are experiencing a level of deep, restorative peace that they desperately chase through loud parties and superficial connections. Forced socialization provides zero fulfillment for you. It only drains the reserves you fought so hard to build. The hardest part of this psychological profile is not the solitude itself. It is the guilt. For years, you probably fought against your own nature. You forced yourself to attend the dinners. You stayed at the parties until 2 a.m., feeling completely empty inside, wondering why you did not enjoy it like everyone else. You thought something was wrong with you. This guilt is a product of social conditioning. But over time, individuals who prefer solitude experience a massive psychological shift. They transition from chronic guilt to radical self-acceptance. You eventually realize that playing the extrovert's game is a losing battle. You stop apologizing for declining invitations. You stop inventing fake excuses to stay home. You simply say no. This journey from trying to conform to accepting your natural inclinations is profound. It is the moment you stop fighting your biology and start leveraging it. Peace begins when you stop apologizing for your nature. There is a unique form of power in needing nothing from the outside world to feel complete. While the masses are desperately running around, trading their energy for validation and cheap dopamine, you have found the ultimate hack. You realize that true contentment does not come from accumulating more social connections. It comes from mastering the space within yourself. You are not broken. You are not antisocial. You are highly selective with your energy. You value your peace more than their approval. And that makes you incredibly dangerous to a system that profits from insecurity. Now you know exactly why your brain demands that quiet room. The question is, will you finally let go of the guilt and enjoy it? If this video perfectly described your reality, and you want to continue mastering your psychological patterns, subscribe to the channel. You might want to see the next video.